Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ajayi Bembe. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and please make sure you comment and you share if you like what you hear and what you see. Welcome to my career series. I am really excited to share with you guys everything I've learned in the past 5 years when it comes to searching for a job, going for interviews, acing your interviews, questions you're being asked in interviews. Guys, I have a whole series packed for you guys, so you need to keep coming back because this is really going to be helpful for you. I did not just go to make research and then try to put two things together. No, these are steps that I have put in place, things that work for me personally, especially when looking for jobs in Ghana, in Nigeria, in the United States. Like, I've worked in these 3 countries, and guys, trust me, what I'm giving you is not bullshit. It's what is really going to work for you, and I cannot really wait to share with you. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you how to ace your job interview. So if you have an interview coming up, or you're looking for a job, or you're looking to change your career and you like to know how to ace the interview, I am here to help you. So whether you're applying for jobs in Nigeria, in Ghana, in anywhere in Africa, in the United States, I have worked in these 3 countries, and it has been a success when I'm looking for jobs. But today, let's focus. How do you ace a job interview? So the first tip I'm going to share with you is make your research. Guys, make your research before going for a job interview. When I say make your research, I mean make your research about the position, because I know that when you're applying for a job, like you're applying for multiple jobs, so you may not even, I know it happens to me, sometimes I don't go over every single thing in the job description or something. Once I see if like 50% of it or 60 or 70% of it, and I see it's something that I can deliver, I just quickly apply. And because I'm applying for multiple jobs, because I advised you that you make sure that you apply as much as possible, because you're applying for a lot of jobs, sometimes you may not have enough time to research about the company or to even research about the position and stuff like that. So make sure the moment you are called for the interview is when you do your due diligence. You make sure that you go on their website, you learn as much as possible about the company, you go back to the job posting and you go and see what was the job description, and then start to interview yourself based on what they ask or what the requirements in the job description. So if they say like the person would be maybe responsible for creating the communication collateral and stuff like that, ask yourself, have I done this before? Okay, I've done this before. When did I do it? How did it turn out and stuff like that? So go back to the job description and quiz yourself on all the items in the job descriptions. Okay, all right. So part of research is also researching who the HR manager is, or who the person who will be interviewing you is. So when maybe you applied for a job as a communications associate or something, you can go to the company's website or go to the company on LinkedIn. You guys should have a LinkedIn account. Like, if you don't have a LinkedIn account, you are not yet serious about looking for a job, to be honest, because that's like the first go-to place that most recruiters go to check who you are, your competencies and stuff like that. So make sure that you do that. Then you go on LinkedIn, you search for the company, you look for the HR manager, you try to find out as much things about the person. It has happened to me before. Like, when I get called for a job, I look for look at the name in the email. I go and Google the person. Who is this person in this company? Okay, this is a person. What does she do, and all of that. So make sure that you find out as much as you can about the hiring manager. It will help you. Their post on LinkedIn will like give you a sense of the kind of person he or she is. Like, if this person is a really, really serious person, or if she has like if she's like maybe a jovial or a playful person or something like that. You'll be able to find that out based on their profile and based on some of the things they post, some of the posts they comment on, and and all of those things. So make sure that as much as you can, you make your research about the company, about the position you're going for, about what they're expecting from the person who will be holding the position you are being interviewed for, and about the hiring manager, if you happen to know who the person will be. Okay, great. Now the second thing is, please, I don't even think we need to mention this, like, make sure you show up on time. Whenever you're going for an interview, make sure you are there on time, because it's going to affect you. So it's not just about the fact that they might think you're unserious or maybe you are not punctual. It's also the fact that, like, you see, even if you get there, if your interview is at 3 o'clock and you get there at 3, you are already like, maybe, especially if you're in Nigeria where like, and you don't have a car or something, you've entered down for the sun has beat on you, you don't even have time to unwind. By the time you get there, you are not settled, your brain is not settled. So please make sure you time, at least get there 15 minutes before your interview time. Don't be too early, like, you know, give yourself some class too. Don't be too early, but please, please and please, at least 15 minutes before your interview time. It will give you time to sit down, to relax, to process, to look at the environment, to, you know, look at the people around you, look at the culture of the company, the kind of people, the way they address, the way they speak to each other. It will help you know if this is a very, very formal organization or if it's like maybe a little bit informal. So you need to like come early. It will help you to like be level-headed. It will help you to like, you know, survey the environment. It will also help you to have, you know, to be relaxed before your interview starts. Okay, great. The next point I will share is that please and please and please make sure that you have a friendly disposition, a charming appearance, and make sure you try to charm the people around you. Like the people you meet when you come in, the gatekeepers, the security guard, the cleaners, the receptionist, the PA, the secretary, anybody that you meet, make sure that you are friendly to them. Don't be rude to them. Make sure you come in, you are friendly to them. You greet them when you come in. Hello, hi, good morning, or good afternoon, good afternoon. Make sure that, you know, as much as possible, you are not rude to them. Like there are days I've got, like I know several interviews I've gone for that when I'm leaving, the gateman will tell me, hey, I hope they pick you. I hope they pick you. Like it's like even my I think my last job in Nigeria, no, not my last job, the one before that, like the gateman, when I came for the interview, I came twice. The first day I came for the interview, he told me, hey, I wish they pick you. When I came for the second interview, he did not even need, like, I needed to go and register. He told me not to worry, he knows me already. Like just because of that one interaction I had with him, he remembered me. When I got the job, he was so happy, he was congratulating me. And that has happened severally, like several interviews I go to. I always make sure that I make friends with the gatekeeper, because see, you don't know who is who. And even if you know who is who, you don't know who the person has influence on. So if you come and you're rude to people, you are rude to the gatekeepers and all of that, even if you're able to ace the interview, like if they go and say, that person, she has a really like rude appearance or something, or she was rude to me or stuff like that, nobody wants to hire a person that doesn't have manners. So make sure that you greet, you say hello, you say hi when you're coming in, and as much as possible you have a nice disposition. You are smiling, smile to the people around you. Make sure like you have a charming disposition. You're able to influence them and make friends with them, because you never can tell who can actually give it, you know, put in a good word for you. Okay, great. So also, as you're keeping a friendly disposition, also keep a professional one. So when you get in, don't just be scrolling down your phone or be taking calls and be going out and in or be yelling on the phone in the reception. Like I've been to an interview where a guy came and he was talking and he was yelling in the reception. Like, guy, you're here for an interview. You don't need, like, if you need to make a phone call, excuse yourself, but don't be doing it like every time. No. So make sure that you take notice of your surrounding whilst you are there. You say hello to people and you smile as much as possible. There was this job interview I went for a while ago, before I left Nigeria. Like it was when I got in, we were like two of us, and you know, we were just sitting there waiting, and it was when I got into the room where the hiring manager was, that I realized that they actually have a security camera right where we were, and they were watching us, watching the way we talk, watching the way we're acting and all of that before they even called us to come in for the interview. So you never can tell if there's like, you know, security cameras anywhere or anything. So just make sure that from the moment you enter into the office or the place you're going for the interview for, your disposition is changed. You have a charming one. Whatever problems you're coming with, you leave it at the entrance of the gate. When you finish your interview, you're going, pick it back up and go your way. Okay, great. So the next point, which is really close to the first one, is also please try as much as possible to dress well. And when I say dress well, like I used to work for a consulting company. Like we usually, like an HR outsourcing firm, so we usually like hire people for other organizations. And there was this particular like role that we've been trying to hire people, and there was this girl, she was really good for the job, but the day she went for the interview, she was dressed in orange gown, red shoes, orange lipstick. Like she was so flashy and all of that. See, in as much as you have to dress well and dress like attractively, and not when I say attractively, I mean professionally too, but you know, don't go overboard. Try to at least, maybe when you resume the job, you can start to dress however you want, if the company's culture allow for that. But even in the most informal working setting, try as much as possible to dress at least semi-formal. If you've maybe it's an IT firm or a new social media firm or stuff like that, that they don't really dress up well, don't go and wear jeans when you are going for the interview. Try as much as possible. Even if you don't wear suits, wear a shirt, wear a pant trouser. Make sure you look presentable. Okay, so make sure you dress the part. If you're a lady, wear a cool color. You don't need to like go all flashy. Like whenever I go, I always try to get a nice top, a skirt, or a black trouser, or a black skirt, or a nice blazer, or just try. Even if it's a dress, like go for conservative colors like blue, like like hash, like orange, like not orange. Just try to get like really cool colors. Try to have like, but make sure you are neat and you are good. Like I always like to go on interviews with on heels, like because it helps me. I feel, I don't know, it helps my self-confidence. It may not work for you, so please, if you cannot walk on heels, don't do it. I remember the last 2 jobs I had in Lagos, when I went the job I was telling you about, the Gateman, when I went for the interview, guys, my shoe heel broke. Well, like I think there were 2 people for them to call on me. The heel of my shoe broke. I did not know what to do. Like one leg, or not even the 2. Guess who went to get me a glue and everything? It was the gateman. I did not need to ask him. He went outside to get it for me. Why? Because just as I came in, the way I presented myself to him, he was charmed. So please, please, and please make sure that you are respectful to everybody you meet there, and you are charming and you're friendly. So back to the point on dressing well. So make sure that you are well presentable. You're dressing, your perfume. Don't wear any perfume that will make somebody want to like vomit, or that is too harsh or too strong. Don't go overboard with anything. Even your makeup. This is not the time to be doing makeup artistry on your face. No, do a cool, calm makeup, something that would let them recognize you, your face, not the one that you'll be hidden behind, not the makeup you wear when you're going for parties. Make sure that everything is okay, and that doesn't mean that you just leave your face, you don't do anything to even enhance your beauty. No, make sure everything you do it well, and you do it in moderation. Good, great. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the interview. The next point I'd like to share is be confident when you go for your job interview. I know it can be intimidating, like it can, especially when you get to the interview and they've given and you see other people, like 5 or 4 other people who look more professional, who look more put together than you are. Trust me, I've been in my last 2 or 3 jobs in 3 jobs in Lagos. When I got in, if you saw the kind of people that were there, the guys, the way they were suited, I cannot even afford the suit they are wearing. The ladies that came, the way they were dressed, their nails pedicured and manicured, they were looking amazing. Guess what? I was the one who got the job. So please, don't let anybody intimidate you. Don't let the people you find in the office intimidate you. Don't let the office building intimidate you. You know what you have inside of you, and you're coming to sell it. They are all humans. The person who is going to interview you is a human being. It's not going, what's the worst that can happen? They don't give you the job and that's it. So please, don't stress yourself. When you come inside, try as much as possible, take a deep breath. When you're about to, move into the room, what I always do, the moment they come in that it's my turn and I'm, they direct me to the room. When I get to the door, if there's nobody accompanying me, I take a deep breath and I breathe out. And, I just walk in, just make sure that I calm all my nerves. And, and I go in. And when you go in, make sure you don't sit down till they ask you to sit. When you go in, say hello, hi, introduce yourself, and let them ask you or offer you a seat before you sit down. But that's another one. So make sure as much as possible you try to be confident, know what you have, know your skills, and have it at the back of your mind that they are not doing you a favor by offering you the job. You are the one who is about to do them a favor by taking the job, or by selling yourself to them. So make sure that you have a self-confidence. You are not timid, you are not jittery, you are not you're not intimidated, because intimidation will make you jittery. It will make you start to stutter. It will make you start to lose your thought process. So please, and please make sure you try as much as possible to instill. I don't know, whatever you do to instill your self-confidence. Maybe you need to go to excuse yourself and go to the bathroom and talk to yourself in the mirror and give yourself some pep talk. If it works for me, I do that sometimes. When I feel too intimidated, I do that. So please try as much as possible to do whatever works for you to keep your self-confidence. Now the next point, which is really close to that, is always know where the line is between being confident and being overly confident. Don't go there and they ask you A, you're answering A, B, C, D. No. When they ask you, it's good to own your skills, to sell yourself, which is the next point I'll talk about. But please know where to draw the line. Don't be telling them, well, without me in this company, you can do nothing. Like what my friend Bobolaji, she had a video about like a skit on interview. It was so funny. They asked her they asked the person, why should we hire you? And the person said, ha, without me in this company, you can't do nothing. Please don't go and say trash like that during interviews. If they ask you, like, I'll be doing it, the next video I'll be talking about is questions that they will be asking you, or questions to expect during a job interview. These are generic questions. It doesn't matter the role that you are going for. These are questions that you will most likely like get when you go for interviews. So make sure you come back and watch that video. But make sure that as much as possible, you are confident, you are all right, you're selling your skills and everything. But I remember let me even give myself as an example. I remember there was this job interview I went for. Now, by the time I got in, we started the conversation. I knew even if they offered me this job, I would not take. But then again, even with that, because you never can tell the kind of role that will come up in the future, or the person this person knows that has maybe an opportunity. You know, you want to be careful how you behave. Even when you know you will not take the job, don't be rude. That was the mistake I made. Like when I got there, the guy was telling me trash about my CV. I'm like, who? I was like, who is this guy? And then he was saying all sorts of things at a point. And then he mentioned something like, so you mean you did this? I told him, and then I said something like, see, I'm good like that. Please don't say that during a job interview. You are good. They are good like what? There are people that are better than you. But see, be confident with what you do, but please be mindful of, you know, crossing the line of being overly confident. Which brings us to the next point. Listen. When you go to interviews, sometimes we are prone to like start talking, start saying a lot of things. But as much as possible, listen to what they're asking you. Listen to the question. When they are explaining the question, listen. If you know you don't understand the question, ask them to, like, you know, explain the question to you. Don't be too eager to answer something that you are answering the totally a wrong thing than what they're answering. I've seen in interviews that, you know, went that way. Like they're asking you A, you're answering D. Like, what does that relate? So as much as possible, listen to what they are saying, listen to everything they are asking you, or the scenario they are presenting to you, and make sure that you pay close attention. And if you don't understand, you ask. Okay, and that brings me to the next point. You know, most likely the first question they will ask you is like, tell me about yourself. That's like maybe the basic question most interviewers will ask, and that's an opportunity to sell yourself. Guys, I'll be talking more about that question in the next video. But when you go for an interview, know that you are going to market yourself. Everybody is a marketer, like it or not. Whether you're a scientist, you're a mathematician, or anything, when you go for a job interview, you are an automatic marketer. You're marketing your skills, you're marketing yourself. So please have it at the back of your mind that I'm going there to market myself. So don't have it, like, know that you have something to offer them and you are going to present it to them. That is what should be. So when you open your mouth to talk, even when they ask you questions, approach it in a way that you are marketing yourself. When they ask you a question like, why do you think you are a good candidate for this job? You know, I'll be talking about that question in the next post, in the next video too. So make sure you watch that video. You really want to watch that video. But when they say something like that, that's a time for you to tell them about your skills. Now, that question, you can also go off key. Like, you can go way off key when you are, you know, going too overly confident in yourself and in your ability, and you start saying some things that, you know, it has happened to me before, that you are not supposed to say. Some things that you cannot actually do, you start saying it because you are trying to say yourself. As much as you're trying to say yourself, don't lie. Don't try to say something that you cannot do, or, you know, because if they ask you a follow-up question, even if it's something that you can learn after the interview or during the job, make it plain that, hey, I have a knowledge about this particular, you know, field. I'm not an expert in it, but, you know, I am still learning. Like, I have a knowledge, I'm knowledgeable about this field or something. Don't go and say, I'm the best, something like please don't go and say that. So in as much as you are selling yourself and selling your skills, don't lie. Don't say what is false. Okay, so any question that they ask you, always approach it in a manner always approach it in a way of selling yourself, selling your skills to them. Okay, so don't go and give them random scenarios or random like answers. No, personalize the questions, personalize it to yourself, and give examples, which is the next point I want to talk about. That always answer your question in scenarios. Like, Of course, not when they ask you your name, then you start giving them scenarios of your name. No, but when they ask practical questions, try to think of time that you've done that job before, because trust me, the things that recruiters are looking for is not just about if you are qualified on paper. They want to see, have you done this before? Can you do this again? So when they ask you stuff like, so what makes you qualify for this job? Oh, I have worked in this capacity for 5 years. I've been able to, like, these are the things I've been able to achieve in the past 5 years and all of that. And I've read, and whilst you are talking about that in yourself, relate it to the company. I've also read about your company, and this is the industry you work, and this is how my skills will be able to like merge, even for me to deliver better to this organization. So make sure you watch the next video coming after this. I will explain all of this into details. So sell your skills, sell yourself, and always answer questions in scenarios. When they ask you, think of a time you've done it and give it to them. Then they'll be able to know, okay, this person is not just knowledgeable about what we are talking about, but they've actually had experience in it. Okay, so that would really, really help. It will really go a long way in you getting your dream job. The next question, the next point I'm going to talk about is ask questions. Guys, ask questions. It's really good, because at the end of the interview, they will ask you, do you have any questions for us? I'll also be doing a video about questions you should ask after an interview. Make sure you come back and you watch that. It will really be helpful to you. Questions to ask during an interview. I have a lot of them that you should ask. Like, it doesn't matter the industry you are working in. Those are the questions that are really helpful. But when they ask you, do you have any question for me? You say no. Like nothing. Like, are you sure you understand what we are saying? So question is a way for them to know, okay, how knowledgeable are you? How are you able to think on your feet and all of those things? So make sure that you ask questions, and come back and watch the video on questions to ask during an interview. Okay? So in as much as you are answering in scenarios, don't make it too long. So when they ask you, like, why should we hire you? Oh, I've done this, I've done that for 5 years. These are the things I've been able to achieve and all of that, and I think I'll be a great fit and stuff. Don't go and be saying 5 years ago when I was in this, and don't go and make your answers overly long and story and all of those things. You can approach it in a storytelling manner, but not in a long storytelling. So keep it short, keep it concise, but make sure that you have all the details and you relate every question to the skills that you have and the experience that you have. Okay, I hope you're able to understand that. The next point I'd like to talk about is make sure that you utilize your body language, like your gestures, your eye contact, your body. See, it's not just about what you're saying. The way you are saying it also tells them. So don't go there and be like stammering and be itching your head or picking your nose or doing all sort of disgusting thing, or remove your shoe. I think it was Bolaji that was like a friend of mine who was telling me about, like, and a person she had to interview, and the person got there and you're asking them to charge. The first thing she asked was, excuse me, do you have charger? I need to charge my phone. Ha. Phone tree. Please charge your phone before you leave the house. And if you must, if you're able to make friends with the gateman or make friends with the receptionist, they will be able to assist you. But don't come into an interview room and ask them for charger. That's like rude. One. And the second thing is, and then she talked about this same person when she was about to start the interview, she removed her shoes. See, make sure you dress in a way you are comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, endure the pain till you leave the room. Don't get there and be pulling off your shoes. Like, God forbid your shoe stinks. Like, that's not even a really like good way. So your gestures, the way you use your hand to talk. I know I use my hand a lot. When you go to an interview, minimize it. Don't go and be God, I'm just remembering a lot of interviews that I've had to I've heard of and I've experienced, and what people do during interviews that are just like utterly wrong. When you are doing, don't go and be gesturing to the person's face and all of that. No, in as much as you want to gesture, make sure that you minimize your gestures. When you are walking into the room, don't drag your feet. Don't be dragging, like, why? Don't make noise. When you walk in, walk like a professional. When you get in, greet them, let them offer you a seat, you sit. Okay, so, and make eye contact. Here in the United States, I'm learning a lot, like, because in Nigeria or Africa, where I come from, looking an elder in the face is a sign of rudeness. But here, not looking in the face is a sign of you're hiding something, or you are not being honest, or you are not being professional or something. So as much as possible, don't stare, but make sure that you maintain eye contact. Don't just be staring at them like you are lost. But when they are talking, be nodding your head, be like trying to like smile and nod your head and look at them and make eye contact. But when you are looking around, you are looking at the mirror, while they're asking you questions, they don't feel like you are professional enough. So make sure that you maintain eye contact, you walk, don't drag your feet on the floor, don't pull your shoes when you get there. When you sit down, cross your leg. As a lady, even if you don't cross your leg, you don't want to cross your leg, make sure you sit down properly. Don't sit down, open your legs, especially when you're wearing skirts. Even when you're wearing trousers, don't sit down and just sit down and relax, or you're sitting, you are putting your hand on the, no, please make sure that everything, your posture, everything is professional. Okay, now the last thing, and what I'll use to round this up, is make sure that you leave a good impression of yourself. Like, make sure that you leave a good impression. When they finish the interview and they ask you, do you have any questions for us, you ask them your questions, and if they said, okay, that's the end of the interview, make sure that you thank them, you appreciate them before you leave. Don't just say okay and then you stand up and you leave. Make sure that you thank them. You know, if you remember their names, people love the sound of their names. Like, they love the sound of their names. So when they finish, if there are 4 people and they introduce themselves, make sure that you notice their name. If you are good with names, I am really bad with names, so I may not really get this part all the time, but I try as much as possible to remember the 1 or 2 people who interviewed me. So when you wake up, thank you so much, Mr. Ademola, thank you, Mrs. Mrs. Jones, thank you, Mr. This, Mr. That. I really appreciate your time, and I will be looking forward to hearing back from you. You know, stuff like that. Just the fact that you're able to pronounce their names. See, especially Africans, we like the sound of our names, so make sure that you remember their name. When you stand up, you call them by their name, you thank them, and you leave. Now, the other point I'd like to share with you is, after the interview, send them a thank you email. Whoever sent you the email to call, make sure, like, if you get the email, if it was a receptionist, try to ask for the card of the person who interviewed you or something. And when you get home, within 24 hours or after like 4 or 5 hours after the interview, when you get home, but if you are living in Lagos, by the time traffic catch you, you would have gotten there. By the time you get home, it will be like 5 hours later. But just as possible, like 5 hours after the interview or so, you send them a thank you email. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm really excited about this position. Like I said during the interview, this is my strength. I'm versatile, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm very confident I'll be able to like contribute to your organization. Thanks again for your time, and I will be looking forward to get the feedback from you or stuff like that. Just make sure, keep it short, keep it simple. There are a lot of samples I can like send you to in the next video of where to get like short templates of after interview emails you can send. They are all on Google. Actually, you can just Google them, and it will be really, really helpful. It will help them remember you, because not everybody is going to do that. So it will, like, you'll be in their head, and when they come to the office the next day, they see your email thanking them. Even if at all you don't qualify for that position, they might have another position that they might even be able to offer you. It has happened to me before. So always make sure that you leave a good impression in the interview about yourself. And then one thing I'm going to say again to round up is that, see, if you don't get picked, don't bother. If you don't get picked, it's not your job. If you don't get picked, there's something better for you. So don't be too hard on yourself. There was this particular job I went for. God, I practiced so hard for that interview, and I passed the first stage. We were a lot that came. By the time they got to the final 4, that was where like I got in. I've answered all the questions. They asked me one question that I knew the answer to, but at that moment the answer wasn't coming in. They asked me a simple question: what is ticketing? Ticketing, issuing of tickets. Like, literally, that's all it is. And I just, for the life of me, I could not remember. And they told me, okay, you know what? If you don't know what ticketing is, that's the most basic thing. If you don't know it, I felt so bad. Like, I've come this long. Like, when I left that interview, God, I was so downcasted and everything. But before you knew it, I got a better job, a better offer. So please, don't be too hard on yourself. If this doesn't work out, it is not your job. Your job is going to come. And I know that if you follow all of these steps that I've been talking about, and that I will still talk about in the subsequent videos, it will really help you. And I'm giving you all of this information for free. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thank you again for joining me. My name again is Victoria Ajayi Bembe. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.